be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na trapo. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas.
Thank you so much. Let us all be seated. Good afternoon. Welcome to the concluding ceremony of the 42nd Philippine Business Conference and Expo. And now to start our program. To give his welcome remarks and President's report, may we call on the President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. George T. Barcelon.
President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, distinguished cabinet secretaries and officials of the Duterte administration, eminent guests from the diplomatic corps, fellow PCCI board members and officers, and the colleagues in the chamber movement, partners from business, academia, and civil society. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the concluding plenary of the 42nd Philippine Business Conference and Exposition. The past 2 days has shown that the PBC, reflecting our distinctive pasts and strategically preparing us to face future challenges head-on. This year's theme, Giant Step 2016 and beyond, dares us to take on an even more active role in shaping our country's future as we zoom ahead in the increasingly competitive, integrated global economic landscape. Giant Steps 2016 and beyond encompasses the vision of everyone in this room, that of an inclusive economy where people enjoy quality life, of a world-class Philippine business sector where the smallest of the small are woven into the web of sustainable business. Competitiveness inclusivity, and sustainability. These are key words that underline our theme, Giant Steps and Beyond. For our country to be competitive, for the people to truly enjoy the gains of an expanding economy, we have to engage not only the few, but the many. For our economy to achieve an inclusive and sustainable growth, we must institute change that is relevant, comprehensive, and disruptive. We started with our regional consultations with our chamber presidents and regional governors, who many are here, seated all the way back. We continued with our area business conferences, North Luzon, South Luzon, Metro Manila, in the Visayas, and in Mindanao. Proceeded to present the collective recommendations of the business sector at the Sulong Pilipinas that was held in June in Davao, and followed this up in the meetings with key cabinet secretaries and officials, with Transportation Secretary Art Tugade, Energy Secretary Alcusi, Secretary of Finance, Mr. Carlos Dominguez, Secretary of Agriculture, Manny Piñol, and the others. Today we are here, Mr. President, taking off with our giant step and ready to engage the world, driven by your government's vision of progress for all, guided by a roadmap on governance, infrastructure, manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism, science and technology, education, people skills, and sources of financing. This is empowered by your trust that collectively we can calibrate the direction of our economy with a stable base for the growth of agriculture, industries, and services. Mr. President, this conference comes at a very auspicious time when the Philippines is about to chair the ASEAN. We have our ASEAN Business Advisory Council seated over there, headed by the Chairman Odette of Vientiane Lao, and our other friends from the ASEAN countries. As we will witness today the turnover of leadership of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council from Lao to the Philippines. It is high time we show ASEAN, Asia, and the world that under your leadership, we are in a position and ready to impress the world. Mr. President, you are our CEO and our leader. Tell us what you want us to do, and we will follow. Thank you. Good evening. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Mr. Barcelon. The Philippines is next in line for the chairmanship of the ASEAN BAC. It is my honor to invite on stage Mr. Odette Suvanovong, the outgoing chairman of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, for his turnover of the Philippine ASEAN BAC flag from Laos to the Philippines. May we also call on the incoming chairman, ASEAN BAC Philippines, Mr. Joey Concepcion. May we request President Duterte also to witness the turnover? The turnover, please. Thank you so much. Thank you, President Duterte, Mr. Suvanovong and Mr. Concepcion. And now, for the incoming chairman. May we call on Mr. Suvanovong for his message.
President Rodrigo Duterte, Mr. Joey Concepcion, ASEAN-backed incoming chairman, Your Excellencies, ministers, ambassadors, my dear ASEAN-backed council member and business delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to officially hand over the chairmanship of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council from Laos to the Philippines. ASEAN-BAC was created since 2002 to provide private sector feedback and guidance to the leaders on the implementation of the ASEAN Economic Community. Since the last 3 years, ASEAN-BAC has been very active to establish itself as the lead private sector body. The Council has facilitated and promoted cooperation between diverse public and private organizations in fostering the smooth economic integration to realize a single market and a single production base in the ASEAN. The focus of the intervention is on people-centered priority sectors, being healthcare, agri-food, retail, and logistics. In addition, the Council has been addressing overarching business issues such as the elimination of non-tariff barriers and non-tariff measures, connectivity infrastructure, digital transition, SMEs promotion, women in business, young entrepreneurship, movement of labor, and leveraging the gap of the CLB countries. To address the above deliverables, the Council is reviewing and vetting issues on unfinished policy framework through consultation with the ASEAN Secretariat and has supported the official launch of a number of completed policy framework at the last ASEAN Summit in September 2016. During 2016, under the chairmanship of Laos, ASEAN-BAC held 2 consultations with the ASEAN economic ministers, 1 consultation with the ASEAN finance minister and central bank governors, and annual consultation with the ASEAN leaders at the summit in September 2016. The Council also launched a legacy project to enhance business connectivity in the Mekong region and the rest of ASEAN, the Laos Connect project. It is anticipated that the legacy project would be established and implemented during the chairmanship of the Philippines. Today, the recommendation of ASEAN-BAC has been taken into consideration and put in the agenda of the Philippine chairmanship as deliverable. Another remarkable achievement made is the ASEAN Business Investment Summit in 2016, which was leveraged as one of the high-level economic and business conferences in Asia and the Pacific by its content and participation. In this instance, I would like to take the opportunity to give my highest appreciation to President Duterte, who has contributed to the success of the conference. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, time has come now to hand over the chairmanship to the Philippines, and I am confident that Mr. Joey Concepcion, with the support from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, from the Philippine Captain of Industry and Philippine businesses, and from the Philippine government, will strongly lead ASEAN business toward the development framework defined by the EC Blueprint 2025. To this word, I wish you good success in 2017 chairmanship of ASEAN-BAC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Suvanovong. And now, the incoming chairman, ASEAN BAC Philippines, Mr. Joey Concepcion, for his acceptance remarks.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Kuya Rodi, fellow ASEAN-backed council members. May I ask you to stand up, all council members, and be recognized. These are the 10 countries represented. And of course, Tessie Coson with me, and George Barcelon. It's not just my task to carry this forward in 2017. We're going to bank on Tessie Coson and George. 10 years ago, my father was the chairman of the ASEAN, together with Donald D. and the late Mike Varela. These guys were dreamers. They held it in Cebu, I remember that. And they almost did make it out of the typhoon. So it is really, in a way, destiny that I am here today as the incoming chairman. Ms. Rodette has been so kind to mentor me. It's been a crash course in understanding ASEAN. I felt that the theme for 2017, being ASEAN 50 years, has to be meaningful. And I felt that the theme should be embraced by our 10 partners, our 10 ASEAN countries, and most of all of you here in the audience, many of you entrepreneurs, heads of your own regional corporations and different clubs, and big part of the PCCI organization that has lasted through the years. The theme for 2017 for the business sector is basically partnering for change and prosperity for all. That is very important. As 10 Asian countries come together, we have to help one another. Many Filipinos fear what will happen to their jobs the moment ASEAN comes to be. It's been 50 years that this has been a real half a century come together of great countries. But in the end, it cannot just be 2 or 3 countries progressing without the other 7 countries following. Prosperity for all is the mission that we have, that President Kuya Rodi Duterte won in the last election. His mission is to bring about change and make many of our micro and small entrepreneurs really succeed in life and eventually erase poverty. Together with Ramon Lopez, as Trade Secretary, myself, and of course, many of you in this room are committed to really helping be part of the problem, solving the greatest problem of our country, which is poverty. This is the chance that we can help mentor many of those who have least in life. So as we embrace ASEAN, we have to see prosperity happening in all 10 countries, and we have to see prosperity happen in all its citizens. The President, as we now call him Kuya Rodi, as we launched the Kapatid program in Davao last Friday, together joins the private sector to really come together and really work hard to solve this problem. So I thank all of you for participating in many of our Mentor Me programs together with the Secretary of Trade, a program that we have launched in the last 2 months. There are over 1,000 people here today. We definitely need you all as mentors, mentoring those micro and small entrepreneurs to one day be able to sit in this room with you one day, which in the end will bring about the change that Kuya Rodi has been looking for. Let me share this video with you, which we took in Davao. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Apat
Mr.
yung anak ko.
Concepcion.
Wala ako nakagraduate. Kailangan ko talaga sila pag-aralin para hindi sila magaya sa akin. Ang negosyo ko po ay nagmamaruya. Mga suki ko sa palengke, everyday nagkakasama kami. Yun ang turing ko sa kanila, ate at saka kuya na. Nag-attend ako ng seminar. Pagtawag sa akin, na-shock ako.
Kuya Rodi will be our champion, the big brother of all kapatids.
Imelda Basilan,
How many years have you been?
15 years.
15.
Yeah.
Pinakain mo siguro yung imamuya mo. By this time, mayaman ka na dapat. Anak ka magluto sa Daplisdan. You cook,
Yeah.
delikado man ko. You know, there are people using the streets. But you have to, mangita ka na puglaing pwesto yung anak. If you stick with Maruya, and you are thinking of expansion, 100,000 okay na.
Ako ang pinakalaki siguro dito. Small business ragod niya ako at tapos na-choose yun ko niya.
Tunay na pagbabago.
Thank you so much for that wonderful video presentation. To outline for us the 42nd PBC resolutions, may we call on the PBC and Expo Chairman, Angelito Lito Colonna.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present to you the 42nd Philippine Business Conference resolutions. These resolutions are a product of PCCI consultation with our national network of businessmen from 107 local chambers all over the country, 130 industry associations, 30 bilateral trade councils, 1,500 direct members, friends and allies from the joint foreign chambers and PCCI standing committees. We have specifically crafted these policy recommendations with the aim of making our local industries truly competitive. They encompass strategic recommendations that are expected to strategically position Philippine industries and enterprises to seize the ASEAN market, gain a foothold in the global market, and capture investments coming into the region. With the handing of these resolutions, we hope that the government will truly see the need of the business sector to be able to attain breakthroughs in competitiveness. Also, this turnover of resolutions signify our fervent desire to be a partner for change of the government. Thank you, and mabuhay po kayo.
At this point, may we call on the Philippine Business Conference, of course, our Chairman, Angelito Colonna, together with PCCI President George Barcelon and PCCI Chairman Ambassador Benedicto Uwico, to present to President Rodrigo Roa Duterte the copy of the 42nd PBC resolution. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Please be seated. Thank you, gentlemen. And now, please be seated, please. And now, we would like to invite President Rodrigo Roa Duterte for the induction of the officers and directors of the Philippine Silk Road International Chamber of Commerce. On stage, please.
Are we ready? Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed to the position of, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties of my present position, and that I will obey the laws promulgated by the authorities of the Republic of the Philippines, and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Let's take time out to do a photo opportunity with our beloved President, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Congratulations, inductees. Please have the opportunity with our President. Congratulations to all our inductees. Thank you so much. Now we proceed with the awarding. Okay? Let's do the photo opportunity with our power punch. Congratulations, awardees and inductees. Our inductees, you're so good. Thank you so much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. To all our inductees, congratulations. Let's start now by honoring the man whose efforts made the 41st Philippine Business Conference and Expo a resounding success. To present this award, I'll now call on President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, our Department of Finance Secretary, Carlos Dominguez III, PCCI President George T. Barcelon, Secretary of DTI Ramon Lopez, 42nd PBC&E Chairman Angelito Lito Colonna, and the Chairman of the Council of Business Leaders, Jose T. Pardo. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Chairman of PCCI and the Chairman of last year's PBC, Ambassador Benedicto V. Uwico. Thank you so much and congratulations, Ambassador Uwico. Thank you so much, Mr. Pardo. Thank you so much. And now it's time for us to give recognition to our peers in business, starting with the International Chamber of Commerce Philippines Global Excellence Award. For his brief statement on the International Chamber of Commerce Philippines, may I call on the founding chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce Philippines, Dr. Francis Chua.
Mr. President, I know you don't like to be called President. You don't like to be called His Excellency. So allow me to call you the Savior of our nation. For years, the narco problem was a cancer of our society. The country was disintegrating until you took over the leadership. Now our country is beginning to provide a safer and more secure environment for our people and for the investors. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, under the able leadership of our President George Barcelon, believes that now is the time to bring our country to the international map of global business community. Indeed, we have set up the International Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines as our link to international businessmen. The ICCP issues Certificate of Origins. This increases the worldwide awareness of the high-quality Filipino products. We advocate free trade agreement, ensuring that export gain easier access to the global market. We even push for ratification of the Istanbul Convention, where one of the trade facilitation measures, the ATA Carnet, can potentially build the Philippines into becoming an international exhibit center like Hong Kong and Singapore. We are also using the vast networks of the International Chamber of Commerce to make businessmen around the world understand that under the leadership of President Duterte, a country is rising from the ashes of a narco state. It is not about the lives lived short. It is about the lives destroyed by the drug menace that we believe our president is doing right. Our real president believes in human rights and is protecting the rights of the Filipino people. In so doing, he needs to stop drug addicts who violate the rights of law-abiding citizens. This is the message that the ICC Philippines is bringing to the international business world. In your presence, Mr. President, we are taking this opportunity to bestow awards to outstanding Filipino businessmen whose contribution, proper growth, development, competition. Joining us is Mr. Philip Sukarski of ICC, who flew all the way from Paris to add prestige to this award. We understand that you'll be visiting China next week to bring home more investment in infrastructure projects, business, and tourism opportunities to support your China initiative. President George Barcelona have instructed us to establish the Silk Road Chamber. This is to dovetail the Silk Road initiative of President Xi Jinping of China. The Silk Road Chamber will again explain to businessmen in China and along the Silk Road countries that the president in the country makes sure that this is a country ruled by laws, that our president respects human rights as much as any other world leader, that the criminal or the drug addicts who violated the rights of the majority should be stopped. This is necessary to guarantee the majority's right will be respected and protected. To fight evil, there is always a price to pay. Yes, our president is putting his life, his honor, and his presidency at risk, so he can save our nation from turning into another narco state. For all this, we have to thank you, sir. The Filipinos in a generation to come will always remember you as a savior of the Filipinos. You are the lakilang ama. You are the patriot. Maraming, maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Dr. Francis Chua. Please remain on stage, Dr. Francis. To present this award, I'd like to once again invite our very own President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Secretary Dominguez, Mr. Barcelona, Ambassador Yuwico, Secretary Ramon Lopez, and of course, the PBC Chairman, Mr. Lito Colonna. Together with the COO of the International Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Philip Kukarchi, the Director General of ICC Philippines, Mr. Jesus Varela, and the Chairman of the PBC Awards Committee, Mr. Sami Lim, and Chuso. Our first awardee is a visionary business leader whose acumen and foresight saw the emergence of business process outsourcing in the Philippines through the township developments of his real estate company, MegaWorld. He is internationally renowned not only for having the distinction of owning the largest selling brandy in the world, but also for acquiring great institutions such as the White and Mackay of Scotland, Fundador Pedro Domic of Spain. May we call on, put your hands together for the President, Chairman, and CEO of Alliance Global, Dr. Andrew Tan. Congratulations, Dr. Andrew Tan. Thank you so much. The next awardee is another visionary business leader who has excelled in the management of ports, terminals, cargo handling, and related facilities, and a philanthropist who continues to support the youth through his Bloomberry Cultural Foundation, the chairman and president of the International Container Terminal Services, Mr. Enrique K. Razon Jr. Thank you so much, Mr. Enrique K. Razon Jr. Our third honoree is a key innovator of big business activities who propelled San Miguel Corporation from being the largest food and beverage conglomerate to a major player in power and energy, mining, telco, baking, real estate, tourism and entertainment, media and infrastructure. He is also an esteemed philanthropist. I'm talking about the president of San Miguel Corporation, Ramon S. Ang. To receive the award on his behalf is his son, COO of Eagle Cement, Mr. Paul Ang. Congratulations and thank you very much, Mr. Paul Ang. Next, we have a trailblazer in the retail industry who established hundreds of hypermarkets all over the archipelago and then diversified into banking, hotel, and LPG business. He is an ardent advocate of micro and small enterprises, integrating them into the supply chain of his diversified portfolio of services to generate employment and provide livelihood, thereby supporting the government's mandate of inclusive business and sustainable development. Please welcome the chairman of Pure Gold, Mr. Lucio Co. Thank you so much, Mr. Lucio Co. The last ICC Philippines Global Excellence Awardee is a consummate champion of talent and new ideas who nurtured aspiring entrepreneurs to reach potential and contribute to nation building. As president of the Philippine Exporters Confederation of the Philippines, he opened international avenues for micro, small, and medium-sized exporters to compete in the global market. A warm hand for the president of Phil Export, Mr. Serge Ortiz Luis Jr. Thank you so much, Mr. Serge Ortiz Jr. Thank you, Dr. Chua, Mr. Kucharski, Mr. Varela. You may now take your seats. As for the other gentlemen, please remain on stage for the next set of awards. The most business-friendly local government unit award is PCCI's initiative to complement the efforts of the government to streamline procedures and compliance with the Anti-Red Tape Act, or RA 9485. It seeks to recognize and promote models of governance of municipalities, cities, and provinces that have demonstrated outstanding efforts in instituting good governance reforms to promote trade and investment, ensure accountability, transparency, and efficiency, and further competitiveness of the LGUs. For the province level category level 1, our winner is Bulacan. We'd like to invite you to award our donor, Mr. Henry Lim Bong Leong of Sterling Paper, to join our presenters in giving the award to Governor Wilhelmino C. Alvarado and Vice Governor Daniel Fernando of the Provincial Government of Bulacan. Thank you so much. For the city category level 1, our winner is Quezon City. We would like to invite Dr. Francis Chua of CLMC to join our presenters in giving the award to Mayor Herbert Bautista and Vice Mayor Joy Belmonte of the City Government of Quezon City. Category Level 2, our winner is San Fernando, Pampanga. We'd like to invite Zesto Corporation, Mr. Alfred Yao, to join our presenters in giving the award to Mayor Edwin Santiago and Vice Mayor Jaime Lasatin of the City Government of San Fernando. The city category level 3, our winner is now a Hall of Famer for having won the same award thrice in the last 5 years, Lawag City. We'd like to invite Dr. Alfonso C. of Fortune International Group to join our presenters in giving the award to Mayor Shevelyn Fariñas and Vice Mayor Michael Fariñas of the City Government of Lawag. So much. For the municipal category level 1, our winner is Calibo Aklan. We'd like to invite Mr. Jimmy Tang of Avesco Marketing Corporation to join our presenters in giving the award to Mayor William Lachica and Vice Mayor Madeline Regalado of the Municipality Government of Calibo Aklan. Mayor Fariñas and Vice Mayor Fariñas. And now, Mayor William Lachica and Vice Mayor Madeline Regalado of the Municipal Government of Calibo Aklan. Thank you so much. Last, for the municipal category level 2, our winner is Concepcion Iloilo. May we invite Mr. Joseph C., President of Ferronickel Holdings, to join our presenters in giving the award to Mayor Millard Villanueva and the First Lady of Concepcion Iloilo, Mrs. Excel Villanueva. Congratulations! Thank you so much. Congratulations to all our awardees. To our presenters, please remain on stage for the last batch of awards, the Most Outstanding Chamber Awards, or MOCA. Here, we recognize a local chamber whose leadership and dynamism contributed to the business growth and development of the community. It serves through its active involvement in advocacy to provide a suitable environment for the growth and expansion of commerce and industry, and implementation of programs, holding of activities, and rendering services for its members to promote trade and investments. For the most outstanding young chamber, province-based, we have the province-level winner for Visayas, and also the most outstanding chamber in the Philippines for the provincial level for 2016. We have Negros Oriental CCI. May we once again invite Mr. Jose Nang to present the award to Mr. Edward D., President of Negros Oriental CCI. Thank you so much. Next is the most outstanding chamber for Mindanao Sea Level and the most outstanding chamber in the Philippines for the city level for 2016. We have Davao City CCI. Mr. Tony Uy, please join us again as we present this award to Mr. Bonifacio Tan, President of Davao City CCI. Thank you so much. Next is the most outstanding chamber for National Capital Region. We have PCCI Parañaque. PCCI Vice President for NCR, Mr. Danilo Sanchez, please join us on stage to present the award to PCCI Parañaque President, Ms. Lolita Duria. So much. Next is our most outstanding chamber for North Luzon. Provincial level is Bulacan. May we invite Engineer Alfonso T. Lau, PCCI Vice President for North Luzon, to present the award to Ms. Gregoria Simbulan, President of Bulacan CCI. so much. Mr. Lau, please remain on stage as we give the award for Most Outstanding Chamber Award for the North Luzon City level to Metro Angeles CCI. Receiving the award is the President of Metro Angeles CCI, Mr. Arsenio Valdez. Thank you so much. Next is the Most Outstanding Chamber for Visayas City Level, Mandaue CCI. May we request Mr. Jose Nang, Vice President of PCCI Visayas, to join our presenters on stage in giving the award to Mr. Glenn Anthony Soco, President of Mandaue. So much. Next is for our outstanding chapters in Mindanao. May we invite once again Mr. Antonio Uy to help us present our next two awards. Let's start with province-based level 1. We have Surigao CCI. Receiving the award is Ms. Concepcion Pacquiao, President of Surigao CCI. Thank you so much. And for the City Level 2, our winner is Bisilig CCI. Receiving the award is Mr. Ferdinand Vergara, President of Bisilig CCI. Thank you so much. For the Most Outstanding Young Chamber province-based, we have Dinagat Province CCI. To present the award, please join us on stage, Mr. Antonio Uy, PCCI Vice President for Mindanao. And to receive the award, we have Dinagat Province CCI President, Mr. Lionel Rojo. Congratulations and thank you so much. Next is the Most Outstanding Young Chamber City-Based. We have PCCI Bacoor. To present the award, we'd like to invite the donor, Mr. Jeremy Jansen, to PCCI Vice President for South Luzon. Receiving the award is Ms. Sally Lacson, President of PCCI Bacoor. Congratulations to all our awardees. Thank you so much. President Rodrigo Duterte, please have your seat. Gentlemen, please have your seat. To introduce our guests of honor, I'd like to call on Secretary Carlos G. Domingos III of the Department of Finance.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor to introduce the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Kindly sit down. Salamat po. Secretary Carlos Dominguez III, Secretary Ramon Lopez, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. George Barcelon, Mr. Angelito Colonna, Ambassador Benedicto Yuico, Mr. Jose Maria Concepcion, participants of the 42nd Philippine Business Conference and Expo concluding ceremony. My fellow workers in government, my beloved countrymen, I do not prepare speeches. I would rather just go ahead with the environment. But from the judging of the crowd, apart from the campaign days, this is the biggest crowd so far that I have addressed. And what is really very pleasing is that all of you have money. Excuse me. I am not into the big league. I am just an ordinary Filipino residing somewhere in Mindanao. My city is Davao City, in the midst of a not so peaceful island. And we are doing our best really to make it business friendly if we talk about money. Mindanao holds a great promise in agriculture. Problem is it is beset with the remnants of the rebellion of the yesteryears. There's still a great feeling of nationalism amongst the Muslim population. And there is always the hurt over the centuries, the injustice committed against the Moro people. So in terms of money and agriculture, we have talked to Mindanao and we are trying our best really to come up with something. I have talked to the communists and I would like to thank Norway. They are now in Oslo. The communists and the government panel are talking there. And I would like to thank the government of Norway for its good offices in these talks. I have talked to Murad, the leader of the MILF, one of the bigger factions in the secessionist movement. And despite the fact that the last time we were considering the BBL, Murad threatened to go to war if there is no BBL. By the grace of God, we were able to talk to him and said that you might want to postpone the rebellion, the war, because there is still enough time for us to talk about peace. And so with Norm Miswari of the MNLF, practically this is really the picture of what is in Mindanao and the rest of the country. I expect a successful talks with the Communist Party. And that is why the soldiers of the Republic are freed of the war fronts here vis-a-vis with the communists, the New People's Army. So I was able to move my troops to Mindanao, and that resulted really in a firefight until now, and also the reason why there was that blast in Davao City. It has always tit for tat for them, and because they are losing heavily because of the concentration of the troops that I have deployed from other areas. Wala nang NPA. At least there is no fighting right now. And because they are suffering heavy losses, ayun, there's always a time for retaliation and everything. But I said we are insisting, but this is really how it looks. I have talked to the major fronts. The problem is there is a sector in Mindanao which until now I cannot convince to talk to us. Why? They are the scholars, and scholars do not carry guns. There are a lot of them, and in some places in Mindanao, plenty. We cannot do anything punitive for the simple reason that they are into the religious activity. And in this country, freedom of religion to practice one is always sacred. It's embedded in the Constitution, and it goes for all religions. Now, there are a lot of them called the tabliks, and they're very good, and they're straightforward. And nothing is wrong with that if you trace history. They would be something like the Knights of Columbus for the Catholic Church. So ito yun sila, they go around preaching. And for the reason that they are preaching really what is historical and true is something which is hard to overcome. In 1521, when Magellan landed somewhere in Leyte, bringing with him imperialism, the flag of Spain, the religion, plus the cannons and the gunpowders. So they were able to conquer almost half the Visayas because it's a separate, it's not a contiguous thing. It's separated by islands up to Luzon. So, but that is history. For us, it's history. But the problem is, they had a good look at Mindanao. Ever since maybe God created the planet, it has all been situated below the typhoon belt. So everyone until now, pati tayo, all from us, look at Mindanao with a great promise for agriculture. And we can plant and grow, and we can harvest aplenty, were it not for the wherewithals, the dynamics going on. And so if we can only find a peaceful compromise, I think that would have solved a great deal of our problems about food sufficiency and even the promise of export. I'm glad. I'd like to thank China for opening its doors again to the pineapple and the banana industry. Salamat po. Now, that as a predicate is something which I'd like to begin my simple story. You know, I'm said I'm not into the big league. I had failing grades in economics when I was in high school and college. It never was never interested in the graphs. It makes me dizzy to see the graphs going down and going up. I don't make any sense at all. Well, study just to pass. 75, 76. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm the classmate of Sonny Dominguez here. We're childhood friends, same neighborhood, same vicarious interest, lahat. And I was not able to finish in Ateneo because they threw me out. So, fine. And but he was the consistent top guy in our class, valedictorian always. So, he knows the problem. But I became a lawyer, and for 8 years I was, for a while I practiced law. Then I went on to become a prosecutor, and I was doing trial work in court for about 7 years. I believe in law and order. I hate criminals. Maybe there is one of my years in the court. I hate drugs. I have seen so many lives destroyed and people wallowing in filth of money because of drugs, the drug lords. And I have seen so many cases fall in court because of corruption. Money bought judges, prosecutors, police submitting an alum instead of the tawas, instead of the real McCoy. They look alike. Shabu. And those are the things that I had to endure when I was a lawyer. When I became a mayor, if you just listen to me, this is my economics. This is my business. No big deals. I ran for mayor in 1988, and I stayed there for 23 years. Last, went on to become a congressman and a vice mayor to my daughter. I knew the problems of a city in a troubled place, and I just did my work. The native in me just simply went for simple rules. I said in my inaugural speech for the first time in 1988, I said, "You criminals, kidnappers, gun for hire, whether soldiers or civilians, or whatever animal you are, go out of the city or I will kill you." And I was very specific to those who are into drugs, and you are now destroying a generation of Filipinos. Go out, because I will kill you. And that was the rule. I do not have to go into specifics. But I saw my city grow or grew, and I said to the businessmen, and the Davavenyos would tell you this, I am not a business person. I have a limited field. About the only thing that I encountered about business was during the study of law, and it was legal accounting. At hirap ako ng subject na yan because I could not understand why when you spend debit 500, then you put it again, debit 500. There must be something wrong in the system. Why just you could just list down your expenses and your income? You do not have to worry about this hula baloo. And so even then, I was not really interested in business. But I was interested more in criminal law because I really wanted to be a lawyer and a criminal law. As a matter of fact, my dream was just to be appointed as a Sandigan Bayan. It's the criminal courts handling the cases of employees in government. Yun lang po. So the business, I said, I will take care of the environment. I told the late Jesus Ayala, he was one of the, who would call me every now and then. Ano sinabi ko, ganun lang. I will make the city peaceful. I will make corruption a past in the city. I was the first city to impose a 3-day limit of clearances, whether it is electrical, business, or whatever, 3 days or 72 hours. After that, you explained to me why it took you more than 72 hours to process a simple paper. That was the rule in Davao. Then I said, no corruption. So I will kill you. Not in the hyperbole, but maybe just out of some passion in it. It carries more of the passion, not really the literal. And Davao grew and grew and grew. And Davao, you can, except for the blast, which we expected because it was a retaliation thing, and to a certain extent it was a failure of intelligence. But Davao is now what it is because of the simple rules. I do not like corruption. I gave each department in this government now, in the national, 3 days, 1 month. 1 month. Then all the papers clearances, 3 days. From the presidency, I have yet to formulate the local instructions because local government officials are not under my control, but they are under my supervision according to the Constitution. So I cannot supplant or change the decision, but I can, put them in place by just requiring the many days. Considering the nuances of local governance, maybe I'd place them something like 4, 5 days, 1 week. Tapos na. At dito naman sa national, 1 month. And I said I assembled men who are known to me. The BIR, Billy Dulay, was my companion sa dormitoryo noon, sa YMCA. He was occupying a room and his roommate was Secretary Belio. They were then students they were studying at Ateneo. Yasay and me were roommates. Yasay was from studying at Padre Faura, but he was missing for quite a time because he is a fugitive. He was a criminal. But during the time of Marcos, he was being hunted, so he was able to escape to somewhere. But we occupied the same room. So there's 4 of us, and plenty others. Now, if I may just go to the side bit. Sabi kasi nila, why is this Duterte? He is appointing lahat ng cabinet. Cabinet members are all over kainuman, drinking partners, and kaibigan, and kakilala. But I'd like to tell you, I do not drink. I do not smoke. I do not womanize. I live a holy life. But I'll drink to that. When you begin to delude yourself, so much lies, it becomes the truth in your life. Well, sila lang kasi ang kaibigan ko. Those are the guys that I met. For example, Sunny and the rest of the cabinet members. They are the bright guys, really, whom I met when I was from Davao. I was studying here in school, law school. And those were the bright ones. Tugade. Tugade is, he's bright. He's the valedictorian of our class. Bright yan. And even Piñol. You might want to, Piñol is a farm land boy, but he graduated summa cum laude. All of them are really bright guys there. Briones, and I'm the only one who's 75. But unfortunately, I'm the boss. So that's like this. I cannot engage you in so many theories about economics and all. I must be very frank with you. I have a very limited dimension about economics. Though if I could be good if I put myself into it. I mean, if I were to read economic books right now, I just don't have the time. I can improve my dialogue with you, but I do not have the time. And so what I will say is that in this government, there will be no corruption. In this government, it will be clean, as in clean, and this government will promise you law and order. When I launched my candidacy for the presidency, wala ho akong ni isang, not even a barangay captain in Luzon, except the province of Ilocos Norte and Lawag. I won there. Hanggang doon lang. But only because of certain ties. It will be a long story, but the tie that binds. Parang ganon. In the Visayas, how many provinces? 72. Not a single governor or congressman. In Mindanao, no governor except one, and only because she loves me and I love her. That's the parang equation. Who is she? You'll have to find out who she is. Parang, so wala akong bagahe. I have no baggage no debts to repay. Well, except Sunny Dominguez, I just learned that he mortgaged his hotel, Marco Polo. But I hope you recover on time. He's the brightest, he's the richest. That's the irony of life. I am the poorest performer, but I am the president, so make your choice. So yan lang po. No corruption. I want my country peaceful. I want my country like Davao, where you can go around, eat durian at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and nothing happens. I just want people courteous. Have you noticed, Davao? If I always tell them, I do not want you smirking or snorting. Behave. I have the best police force. There's no checkpoint they're asking for money. I don't allow it. I simply would say, yeah, do what is right. You know what is right, just do it. You know what is wrong, so avoid it. Ganun lang yan eh. For the police, for the military, especially the police. So I fired, when I assumed office, I fired 6 generals. Yun ang hindi naintindihan ng Pilipino. At ng human rights. Remember at the first volley, there were many killed. Have you not taken into consideration that there were some military and police officers, generals at that, involved in the trade? Have you not really considered the cleansing, the purging process they had to do to save their necks? And at that time, there was already mention about me because I was very open. When I said, do not destroy my country. I repeated the mantra of the Pope. Alam niya, do not do it because I will really kill you. And I said, do not do drugs, lalo na. The succeeding firefights, I must admit, was between the police and the criminals. But it was never the thing of the government at the outset, yung patayan. You wrap around plastics all over the body. Why would the police do that? Why would you waste your time? Well, simply shoot him in the head once and that's it. Well, because that's one form of torture. We do not do it. I will not also allow it. Torture is very odious to me. If you want to kill the guy, fire a single shot. Make your choice, head or heart. And maybe if you still are mad at him, his balls, then tama na. Leave it that way. Hindi amin nyo, hindi amin. So yung succeeding, ang problema, they themselves are also, when you create intrigues, this guy, I would say just raid him, but release him, but tell him that it was this guy who, squealed on him. So you have to you have to be innovative. Let them kill first among themselves. And you go there into the arena to deliver the coup de grace. But we're still at it. Now, again, I would repeat, I will not allow my country to be destroyed. I will not allow my country to be, the next generation to be compromised. Baski yan ang gawin ko. And I will not allow corruption to destroy my government. Took me several months to campaign. You just don't throw away the political stock that I have built for myself. Tapos sisirain mo. Magpatayan tayo. Really. Do not destroy me. Because if you have no business except to make money, get out of government. Lahat yan. Without exception. Droga, it will continue. It will continue until the last drug lord and the last pusher is out of the streets. That is all. Killings, there will be killings. They choose to fight it out. This is a very simple instruction to the police and the military. Go out and hunt for them, arrest them, announce your authority if there is time. But if there is no time, then you have to ask him to surrender. Because if he does something overt, which you think will kill you as a peace officer, then kill the idiot. No problem with that with me. And that has been the order. And I said that I will kill you if you do drugs in this country. I will do it. And I don't give a shit. I will do it. If you destroy the next generation or compromise their future, I will do it. Period. United Nations, in the boundary of Texas and Mexico, New Mexico, and Mexico itself, in the drug war, 60,000 have already died. Me, I have 4 million drug addicts. When I was in Laos, I asked President Widodo, how many of your countrymen are into it? He estimates about 4 million. Then President Widodo asked me, how about you? I counted only the PDEA findings 2 years ago by General Santiago when he was the head of PDEA. He said to us, I was still mayor, there are now about 3 million addicts in this country. 3 years. And ang akin, my numbers, I ignored the findings and the surrenderies that you saw on TV by the hundreds of thousands. I did not include it in my statement. I said, or maybe 3 million. But after our talk, I was about to sleep and I was playing the numbers. Indonesia is a very big country. 2 great islands and 1 small, or 3. It has 240 million people in it. Then I was thinking of my country. It's about 7,000 islands, not contiguous. And there are about 1,004 people. 104 million, rather. 100,004,000. And I have, if I include now the guys that you saw on TV surrendering to the police, seeking treatment, it would equal also to 4 million. Tabla kami ni Widodo. So we're even a small nation and a big nation. So said, I have to do something about it. Right at the start. If that is the only achievement that I can make for my country, let me repeat my pledge. In this fight of corruption, drugs, criminality, I put at stake on the table my life, my honor, and the presidency itself. Never mind about impeachment. I don't give. I will not die if I do not complete the 6 years. You know what? I said, I want the presidency. Sons the money. All of you are witnesses. A little money given by some friends. Then the machinery was on. PDP is now a great party. But at that time, it was moribund. It was only a party of Senator Pimentel and his son, the Senate President. But I won, and I said, there are 3 things which I kept on hammering. Attorney Lambino is here. He was with us all the time. Only 3. Sabi ko, I will fight corruption. And I am going to do it. Let me end. It's getting late. Let me end by saying, if I cut short of my presidency, if I'm ousted next year, that is part of my destiny as president, only for 1 year. If I get assassinated, then that is part of God's plan, that you be there only for 2 years, 1 year, and you die. If I'm ousted, fine. Wala naman akong ginastos. I don't have to worry about the millions of loss. Wala akong pera eh. But I just kept on saying that, well, and in almost all of my campaigns, if you had followed me, I was the only one invoking the name of God. If by God's grace I will win the presidency, I will do this. If God would allow me a life longer, I would do this. I was the only one really. No, I am not into religiosity, but I believe that there is really somebody there. And my presidency was really a destiny. Even you guys, if you talk about it when I leave, alam ninyo, nobody expected me. I was number in the rating, number 3, number 4, number 3, number 4. So, people with so much money never gave me money because I will not win. 3, 4, so I wasted money with this guy. When I was hitting 32, and they stayed there, the numbers stayed steady for 2 weeks. And when I was making my speech, meeting the Avance, I I looked at the monitor of the drone, and that was the first time I whispered to my wife, maybe, just maybe. Because it was filled to the bins. Up to the Luneta ang crowd. And it was a huge crowd. And I said to my wife, maybe, I said, if God allows it, I will win the presidency. And I did. I got 15 million with a majority of 6 million nearest my rival. So I can only give you what God has commissioned me to do. He said, drop the corruption of your country because it will not move. Let business thrive, stop corruption, shorten the procedures for all, make it comfortable. I told everybody, I do not want Filipinos queuing under the heat of the sun or when it's raining. Cut that crap. You can do it. So now everybody is into online with the entry of DTI Ramon Lopez and Sally Lima. Rudy used to be the vice president of Globe. He's appointed DCIT for the new Hulabalo. I do not even know how to operate the touch thing. I still using the push and pull. That's really. So they would, I said, I would like to see maybe towards the 3rd or 4th, everything will be online. Now, I'd like to end this by saying, I said it was SW before now, Pulse Asia, came out with the rating. I'm not interested in the rating. I'm comfortable with 75. Just like, yeah, they are ambitious. So they said, what can you say about your rating? I said, 6. And one report said, why not 5? Eh, puto, gago, bagsak ako dyan. 6 na. But that's just a moderate. I do not go for stupendous. I'm not used to it, actually. I'm not used to luxury things. Not even watches. I do not wear. It's not because I'm a hypocrite. I simply, I'm not into it actually. I'm more of just keeping my going around the country, and wherever there is, I'm losing 2 policemen a day in the drug fight. At least 2 on the average, 2 policemen a day. And 1 or 2 military men. I have commissioned them to join the fight. So we will fight. I will not. International Court of Justice. Maybe you guys, if you can also tell your friends. I have criticized them. I'd like to explain why. My mouth. Early on, that thing about extrajudicial killing was really an issue against me, true or not, in Davao City. Because my opponent was the bright guy. He's now sick. I hope he dies immediately. Bakit mo sabihin buhay? So if he's your enemy, I'm dead. It was, Sunny is there to tell you the truth. Consistently, I have not lost an election, by the way. Since 1988, tuloy-tuloy na ho yun hanggang the presidency. Now, I'm not lost an election, but I've been very consistent in and the attacks made on you. Remember, if you care to go to revisit the campaign days, that issue of extrajudicial killing was not an issue against me. It became an issue and a garbage when some senators, for money, I don't have to mention the names, when I was hitting the ratings very high, then they began to unleash, to jettison that garbage there. So, but it was not really an issue. It was only when I was. So I think that it was the same issue that was being used now by the NGOs and the country officer maybe of the Human Rights Commission, and a president and a State Department lady and the EU. Ganito yan eh. This is how it developed. They use now election, until now they're using it against me. Some of them may be true, some or not. But I was trying to explain that I said there is no crime at all committed by me when I say I will kill all the criminals. It is not a crime to threaten criminals with death. That's the reason why they would go and say we'd go to war because you are behaving this way. There is no law in the Philippines which says I have to go to jail because I said you threaten the next generation and the speaker would kill you. I was trying to explain all of these things, the nuances of the law, the dynamics, but nobody was listening until now. So, what is my best defense as a lawyer? I insult people. So when I began to say, shit, God damn it, so everybody was looking at me. Ngayon, you are now listening to me, but only to hear bad words. Oh, I'll give you more. Blah, 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 blah. Ngayon, puro complaint na sila. Sinabi ko sa inyo, this is the story. At least give me the right to be heard. I will makinig, one by one. And besides, you'd never think of the diplomatic FUPA. This country is a member of the United Nations. I represent the sovereign authority. When I was mayor, you can attack me on the side. So I'm only just a mayor. But when I became, or now I am the president, at least be courteous. If you have a gripe or complaint against the Philippines, or personally sa akin, go to the United Nations, ventilate your gripe or your grievance, then ask for a motion that it be sent to the proper organ or agency under the United Nations. WTO, WHO, Human Rights, and all, UNICEF. Those are the bodies there, human rights. Then you ask somebody for a motion to send a rapporteur, then he will investigate me, or he will call for a public hearing, then I respond, and you make a report, then that is the time that you put to task a sovereign nation. Nagkulang ang mga gago eh. Hindi pinag-aralan. Pati the soldier, the lawyers, EU. 7 idiots there, lawyers all. Sabi nila, this guy, this leader, has been heard threatening or intimidating with death criminals. Anak ka ng... That prompted me to write letters, and it is out. I invited President Obama, the Secretary of State, the United Nations, the Human Rights Commission, and the EU. Come here, investigate me. But give me also the right to be heard. So I will have to ask you questions after questioning me. Sige, takay dito. Paikutin ko kayo dito ng kamay ko and I'll play with you. I am very sure, they cannot be brighter than me. Maniwala kayo. Paikutin kita. You know, I said, I've been a trial lawyer for 8 years. I will play with you in public. I will ask 5 questions that will humiliate you. And I will ask 10 questions for you to agree with me. Bantayan ninyo, it will be an spectacle. You better watch it all. Maganda yan. It will give you an entertainment. Akala siguro ng mga buang kasi, Pilipinas, small nation, well, maybe God give you the money, but we have the brains. Ang problema lang is I don't know what happened to this country, but I'm sure after this moment with this crowd, after my assurance that there will be no fixing of cases, there will be no exemptions, nothing of the sort. Just do business, I will protect you, and if there is anybody maghumihingi sa inyo, tell me, do not give me your name. Just talk to Lopez and Dominguez there. Sabihin lang ninyo, because I'm trying now to just shoot the breeze also with the guys there sa Malacanang. I will allow RPTV open to the public. After the news of the day, you can text. If you do not want to include your name, fine. Lagay mo lang. Bureau of Customs, example only. Bureau of Customs, Mr. Martin Santos asking for money. Right, so that the entire people of the Philippines will see it every morning. So I can assure you. I will call him immediately, explain. But I will also give him the right to answer. That's in keeping with fair play. He can answer with this text. But you can, anybody of you, pag may maghingi, even the clerk, even the security guard, text mo lang. Sabi mo lang, Mayor, dyan sa custom ka, may naghingi. Then I will. I have prepared a special bullet for him. And a special rifle. One that cannot penetrate all throughout. Yung lang. Enough for him to suffer. Barilin natin ang mga... Salamat po.
Thank you so much, the man of the hour, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for his very truthful and down-to-earth message. Everybody can relate. Alam natin yan. May we call on now the ASEAN Business Advisory Council to please come on stage for the photo opportunity with our very own President. Next, please be ready, the Philippine Business Conference awardees for the next batch. ASEAN BAC, please on stage. Thank you so much. You can now click your cameras. For the Philippine Business Conference awardees, can you please line up on the left side so that you will have your photo opportunity with our very own President. the ASEAN Business Advisory Council for the photo opportunity with the President. Thank you so much. Now may we have the Philippine Business Conference awardees. Please line on the left side of the stage, please. The very known Power Punch. May we have the PBC awardees on stage, please. The Philippine Business Conference awardees, please on the left side of the stage. Please join us, the Filipino-American awardees also. Please come on stage on the left side. Yeah. PBC awardees and the Filipino-American awardees. It's on your right side, facing the stage. Philippine Business Conference awardees and the Filipino-American delegates, please come on stage. Thank you so much. It was a very successful 42nd PBC Conference and Expo. Congratulations to all of you delegates. Congratulations, PBC Chairman Angelito Lito Colonna. Congratulations and thank you very much to our President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. To all our awardees, congratulations.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
At this point, we would like to thank our very own President Rodrigo Duterte for gracing the 42nd Philippine Business Conference and Expo. We would like to request all our guests who are on stage right now to kindly please go back to your seats.